All right, so today is Thursday, May 4th of 2023. It is about, I want to say 9:20 in the morning. I, Gabrielle Kindy, am interviewing Maybette B. Larsen at the Rocky Mountain Regional VA Medical Center in Aurora, Colorado, as part of our Remembering Our Veterans program. Are you ready to get started?
Yes.
Great. So can you tell me a little bit about your early years and where you grew up?
I was born in Salt Lake City, Utah. And then we moved to California when I was 7. We lived in California. My mom liked to move all over the place.
Okay.
So we moved all over the place. Then from California, I got to get enlisted. So I was in California a long time.
Okay.
Do you want to get into that part yet or no?
No, that's all right. I think I'd like to hear about what motivated you to join the military when you did get to California.
This is a crazy story. 4 ladies at high school were going to get drafted. They were going.
Okay.
And they stopped by, hey, well, how would you like to come along? And I'm going, oh, where are you going? On the draft. And I go, had nothing else to do.
Sure.
I babysat for 50 cents an hour. It's like, yeah. So that's where we all went. We tried the Navy. Giggly girls the Navy didn't want.
Sure.
They tossed us right. They didn't even test us. So we went to the Army. At least they tested us. Out of those 5 girls, I was the only one they wanted.
Okay.
Because of my medical background. I have first aid training a lot.
Okay.
I went to girls camp for my church. And so with the girls camp, you had to know first aid every year. So it's like, yeah.
Sure. I got you. That's kind of cool. So they wanted you because of your medical background.
Yep.
Okay. And it sounds like you've been interested in medicine for some time, right? So where did that start for you?
Well, first aid, I wanted to kind of become a nurse.
Sure.
But at that time, I was still a typical little kid. And I didn't know what I really wanted in life.
Okay.
But the Army offered a good opportunity. So it's like, okay.
Okay. So how old were you when you did enlist?
I was 18.
Okay.
It was 2 weeks after high school that they drafted me.
Okay.
So it's like I graduated the same year I went in.
Okay, I got you. So after you did enlist, what was your service experience like?
My service?
Yeah, so after you enlisted, what came after that?
Okay, so as soon as I enlisted, I went through my training.
Sure.
So here's some of the things I trained for. Operating room technician. Can you see that okay? Because I'm jiggling. So I got a diploma for that one. That one's coming right. So we can put that one away. So I actually scrubbed in to become a tech for surgery. So we handed instruments to the doctors in surgery. We also were a circulating nurse where we would put instruments they needed. We have to unwrap it and put sterile stuff a proper way so it would still stay sterile. We even helped dress the people that were getting ready for surgery. They weren't allowed. They came in like this. We helped put the gown on. We put them. They already had a mask on. We have to tie it, stuff like that.
Okay, very cool. I've seen some surgical techs work, and that's not an easy job, right?
No, it's not an easy job.
Especially there's a lot of different instruments.
There's a lot of different instruments. I still remember like the mosquito. There's a straight mosquito and a curved mosquito, and now this is a clamp.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess, or your retractors. There's a Richardson retractor or a, I'm forgetting instruments already. There's a big one that opens up your gut. Anyway, and it's huge.
How long did it take you to learn all the things you needed to learn to be a surgical tech?
There was a lot of OJT,
Okay.
which helped,
Okay.
especially with that training. I went through, what was it called? To become a medic. I learned that part first.
Okay.
And then I went on to become that. They wanted me to become an LPN, but they wanted me to re-enlist another 6 months.
Oh, okay.
At that time, I didn't know.
Okay.
So I didn't.
Okay.
And I probably should have, but that's okay.
Okay. So after your early years of training, did you serve in any wars? Did you travel anywhere?
As far as I got to travel was Massachusetts.
Okay.
I stayed mostly stateside, only because after a certain year, they decided not to send any more over to Vietnam at my time.
Sure.
It's like, and that was okay. I mean, we're still there to serve. So, but I got to serve in Fort MacArthur, California, Sandia Army Base, on Sandia Air Force Base, Fort Devens, Massachusetts. Oh, I trained at Fort Sam Houston, Texas. Well, I knew I was missing one house.
That's all right. Of those, did you have a favorite place that you were stationed or one that you enjoyed the most?
Actually, Albuquerque.
Oh, really?
They had one woman to a bay,
Okay.
and 2 bays shared a bathroom. So that was awesome.
Okay.
Every place else there was like 6 to 8 people in a bay.
Okay. So you had a little bit more privacy.
I had a
there.
lot more privacy.
Okay, I got you. So it looks like you have some other certificates. You want to talk about those?
Well, one of them was my honorable discharge.
Okay, great.
And that I was hoping there was a president that signed it, but it wasn't. That's okay. We'll get back to that one. And then my DD 214.
Okay. What is that? Just
That tells you, you can put this into the, driver's license or someplace, you put your DD 214 and it gives you credit.
Okay.
I mean, if I took this to an employee, they get tax deduction for hiring a vet.
Okay, gotcha.
So that helps out in that case.
Absolutely.
So there's all sorts of things. And then while I was at Fort Devens, Massachusetts, I got to they called me up saying, we would like you to help our youth when you're off duty.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you're never off duty. You're on duty 24 hours a day, no matter if you're actually off or not. So they asked me to come train their youth on the base how to do gymnastics. Really, I took gymnastics in college and got a B out of it. So I taught gymnastics, and unfortunately, I had 2 spotters for that gymnastics, and I went to show them how to do a front flip, and they missed me. Yeah, so I was in a neck brace for quite a while, and so now my neck is damaged because of this, but that's okay. It's like it's still sore and it acts up.
Okay. So injured in gymnastics.
I was.
Okay.
I don't know if I can even do a cartwheel anymore.
We won't ask you to do one. Don't
No.
worry. So you said college. So
Yes.
you enlisted right at 18. When did you go to college?
I went to college after.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about
when
that.
I got out, I was offered, we have a GI Bill back then. I understand. I think it just came back again, where we could go to college free.
Okay.
And so I went to Rick's Junior College, which is now BYU Rick's. It just went from a junior college to a university. That's how popular it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what'd you study?
I was trying to study nursing.
Okay.
But I had to go through a lot of basic, and they won't even, I went 3 semesters,
Okay.
and I got married and I got pregnant. And you know how that goes. So no, there was no more going on.
Okay. So we went to college and then we decided that wasn't for us. What did you do after that?
I was a housewife for almost 14 years.
Okay. How many kids do you have?
We have 3 kids, and we were lucky. We got all 3 kids in the military while he was active duty. So every one of them, my most expensive baby was $36. Yeah.
You're kidding.
No.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so like prices is like, yeah.
Okay.
So being active duty, no matter who it is, unfortunately, I'm divorced twice now. My one ex deserted me with 3 kids. So it's like, yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, we were no, anyway.
It's all right.
He struggles.
Okay. I hear you. I feel like some of those experiences are teaching moments, maybe.
Oh, they were big teaching moments.
Did you learn anything from that? Anything you want to share?
Well, his last words were, "You never make it on your own." I raised 3 kids mostly on my own, and now I'm in my own home. So unfortunately, the Army teaches you how to keep going.
Sure.
That was the one thing the Army did teach, how to keep going. And so that's what if that wasn't in my backbone, I tell you, I may not have survived, but I did.
Sure. Do you think that your military service, the things that you learned in your military service are things that you took with you?
Oh, yeah.
Life?
If it weren't for my military, I wouldn't have not been able to get a good job in a hospital afterwards, because they had hired me as a central supply person and getting instruments ready for surgery.
Sure.
the only hang up with working in central supply or in a surgical area, you have autoclaves. At Fort Devens, Massachusetts, we had 8 autoclaves and they're huge. I mean, they were longer than this room, almost as wide as this room. And we had 8 of them and they made horrible, horrible sounds.
Okay.
That's why the hearing aids.
Oh,
For the tenderness, I got tenderness from the military.
okay.
Yeah, it's one. I also had glass and mercury ricocheted into me, active duty.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So at Fort Sandia Base in the Air Force, is it Sandia Base? Yeah, the Army hospital there. We have what's called a spinneret. We had those old thermometers made out of glass and mercury.
Okay.
So you had to put them in those spinnerets.
Oh,
And I started the machine up, it went haywire, ricocheting the thermometers and the mercury all at me. And they were broken and everything. They had to take a toothpick with a long, and he was carefully trying to take the mercury out of my eyes. We don't to this day know if I got all the glass or the mercury out of me. That's why I think I have many cysts from the top half of my body because of that.
okay. I guess you never think about the hospital being a dangerous job, right?
No, nobody. I mean, people are testing those helicopters right here in the US and the helicopter crashes. And it wasn't even active. I mean, they were active duty, but they weren't overseas. That was a sad case. I mean, there's all these things that happen. You're still active duty, even though they happen to you. So, yeah.
Let's talk about something more fun. You talk about any hobbies that you have?
Back then, I used to, when I was in the military, so I had an old military shirt and I would sew all my patches on my shirts. Well, that shirt got old, but all the patches were still, so I took the patches off that one and put it on a new jacket. Yeah, really. That jacket I still have, but it's retired.
Okay.
I should have brought that with me. But anyway, so now I have another patch jacket, which I didn't bring. And I have 2 patch vests. But now it's getting to the point where I can't thread the needle. Where's that needle at? I know it's there.
So is this going to be the last jacket then, or do you think?
Yeah, I don't know if I can buy needles that are already self-threaded.
Sure.
But some of those patches are hard to push through nowadays. It doesn't help getting older.
What about one of your kids? Maybe they can help you.
Yeah, they usually do.
There you go.
Another hobby I used to have, I played ukulele. And I learned that at one of the bases I was at when we went to camp.
Okay.
And they asked me to help out with the girls' camp. And the military let me do it. And the lady played ukulele and started me off with 2. You can learn 3 songs with these 2 chords.
Okay.
Yeah. So I played really well for a while.
Do you still play?
I tried, but it's like I can't hold my fingers there. It's like, and I can't strum right. It's like when you get older, everything. Sorry, don't want to put the mask on, but anyway. But I enjoyed ukulele for a long time. So the one thing I used to do is sing.
Oh, really?
And I used to be able to sing quite well. Okay. Let's see. Fighting shoulders in the night. That's about as far as I can get. I don't remember the words.
I think you still sound great.
Well, I sing bass and tenor most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you still sing?
I sing at church when I can.
Okay.
There's times my voice, the vocal cord dysfunction, who knows how much of that shard is in my throat that's created little cysts.
Absolutely.
So it's like, we're not sure about all that because you can't determine how long. I had a piece of glass in my foot that I stepped on at the beach. 4 years later, they pulled out 3 shards. And they have no idea if there's any more in there.
My goodness.
Glass shards, they're so tiny, they have no clue how long they can stay.
Sure.
So,
have you always been musically inclined?
Actually, my mom sang in the Mormon Tabernacle Choir.
Okay.
But she sang high soprano.
Okay.
I managed alto. And then when I was in high school, I sang in the a cappella choir tenor.
Okay.
And I got out of high school, I got a special certificate for Associated Student Body Award for singing tenor in high school.
That's incredible. Okay.
I'm sorry, I had to move. Am I okay still? Okay.
Let's reflect back a little bit. How do you feel like your military service experiences affected your life?
A lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to remember to pull my shoulders up. That's why I always had to stand straight and tall. So that's helped me out as older people cringe a lot. And then they're always like this. And the next thing you know, they got a hunchback. So I'm constantly reminding myself, don't do that. And that's because of the military.
All right.
And then unfortunately, the military trained me to wear a hat all the time. And now with my blue eyes, I can't stand the bright light. So I wear a hat almost all the time.
Okay. So a hat and good posture, that's what you got from the military.
So sad. I mean, the Army was great. I had some great friends in the Army.
Sure.
A Major K and a Sergeant Mackey. Major K is all we called her. But Sergeant Mackey worked with her. And that was in the Air Force Army Hospital. So it's like I was in Albuquerque. I wish I could find some of these people. I don't know. Another thing for how much time we're doing. We're doing good. So for basic training, at the end, you get your little diploma for graduating out of basic.
Sure.
So all these names are being called, and they get called in alphabetical order. So they went through all the A's. They went through all the B's. They went through all the C's. And they kept going and going. And guess whose last name they called at the very end? Maybette Breidenbaugh. And you should have seen the whole group just smile. She did that on purpose. She's going, you are a good soldier. You may have difficulty testing, but as a soldier, you're going to make it no problem.
Was she right?
Oh, yeah. that just, everybody was so happy to see that I got it because, she deserves it too.
Yeah, there you go. Do you have any lessons that you'd like to share that maybe you learned from your military service?
To hang on, to just be enduring. Just keep that pace. I mean, I'm going to be 71 in just a few weeks. And so at 71, I still remember keep up the pace. Keep going. There's no end to this journey yet. I'm hoping my end isn't soon, but knock on wood. But anyway.
What do you wish civilians knew about military service?
I wish there was more talk about it, especially from females.
Sure.
Back in the day, they didn't let females talk about the military service.
Okay.
And nowadays they're all in the same kind of boot camp, but I'm sure they don't share the same bed. I mean,
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a recent picture a couple of years ago of me and the Liberty Bell. And that's got a bunch of medals in it, like I got on my hat in that bell. There's one more I wanted to show.
Can you talk a little bit about your medals?
Oh, let's see. What do I got up here? So this was an old badge back then. Okay. The older ones had the background and the little US, it unscrewed. And we had to take and polish those. I didn't polish this one, but anyway. And then I left as an E4. They gave me my E5 if I would sign the dotted line. I was still single and not dated, and I said, go home and get a taste of life, huh?
Sure.
So, and then this is one of the bases at Fort Devens, Massachusetts.
Okay.
That pin came from them, and we had to wear this pin and another pin on our collars. I don't remember. I don't have that other pin anymore. But those are, and then this one, let's see if I can get in there. This one's from President Obama, and he recognized all of us as being Vietnam vets. Forget about the Vietnam vet era. It's all Vietnam now. It's just like World War II. They're all World War II. Okay. So that was kind of nice that he did that.
I was going to say, how did that make you feel when he did do that?
I got a sheet of paper that's got President Obama's signature on it. That's the only president. I was hoping it would be on my honorable discharge, but it wasn't. But it was like, I don't know who served during the times I got enlisted and got out. You know, it's like, but it kind of was really good.
Right. I mean, it feels
Made you feel like pride.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Is that something that you take away from the military, a sense of pride?
Yeah. And that's really tough when I talk about that. I go to church and I talk about my pride. In church, you don't have pride. No pride.
We won't tell anyone, don't worry.
No, well, they know it. I go up and I have I have special red, white, and blue female hats that I wear at church. And so when I'm wearing those hats at church, they're all looking at me like shaking their head. And I go, don't you dare shake your head. I'm a veteran, don't you dare.
It's good that you take away a sense of goodwill from your military service.
Oh, I do.
Absolutely.
Red, white, and blue is me all over.
It's huge to hear that. Is there anything that you'd like to add that we haven't covered in this interview?
See if I can get this picture enlarged. Just my two brothers and I all served.
Okay.
And then my nephew served. He served 25 years. My two brothers served 6 years, and I served 3. I was the first one in the brothers that actually went in. My older brother was denied, and he fought it, and he finally got in. So he was so happy. So it's like, yeah, military and family. What else would you like to hear? Anything?
Is there anything else in here that you'd like to show us? Yeah.
I forgot about these.
I forgot about it too.
This is what I got out of the service. Am I too close to the camera?
Yep.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So I served first in the Girl Scouts for 5 years. And then I served in Boy Scouts for 25 years.
Okay.
So the military taught me how to be a good scout leader, because it's Boy Scouts is made for boys to go to the service. That's the reason why it came out. And then the Girl Scouts kind of picked up on it. And then I also learned to be a security guard. And I actually worked for Pinkerton. That don't exist no more. It's gone. So there's all these things that are in service, but they're gone.
Sure.
So
Do you think that you'd bring any of those things back?
what do you mean?
Like, are they gone for a reason? Are they things that you miss?
What's that? Oh, the like Pinkerton?
Yeah.
That was a good branch.
Yeah.
The other security branches are okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Boy Scouts. Yeah, I wish I could stay with Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with the changes that have happened with the scouting program, the church even went away from Boy Scouts
Okay.
because of the changes.
Okay.
And it's really hard when you have a Christian belief, but you have changes that go against your Christian belief.
I hear you. What did you do as a scout leader in the Boy
Oh, I
Scouts?
was the actual leader. When I first started, my ex-husband was a scout leader and I was his assistant. That's how I started in Boy Scout.
Okay.
And then we went to Germany and I became a Girl Scout leader because my girl was old enough.
Sure.
And in Germany, instead of going to 3 states to visit, they went to 3 countries. We got to see 3 different countries in Germany when we were stationed out there.
Oh, very cool.
That was a good experience. That was an awesome experience. So I got a lot out of the scout program
Okay.
where, if it weren't for the military, I probably wouldn't have.
Sure.
So the military came and gave me a boost to do something else.
Did you put all your kids in the Scouts as well?
My boy, yeah. My girls, they didn't finish Girl Scout. They changed policies and they didn't like it. My boy, he finished Cub Scouts, got his Arrow of Light. He finished Boy Scouts and got his Eagle Boy Scout. So he's learning impaired. And he's the first scout in his troop in 30 years to get it. So that was really cool.
Sounds like they take after you.
Yeah, he tries. He's so poor kid. I like Mom. I feel so sorry for him.
Is there anything we haven't covered that you'd like to talk about?
Not that I can think of right now. I'm hoping to get an email so I can send you other pictures maybe at the end. But yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
Other than that, I apologize.
No. Got it right at the end.
Too much talking. But thank you. This was awesome.
Well, thank you for coming in. We need you guys to do this, right?
We need a lot more females to say, hey, this is what I did. Way back then, there was only 8% of us back then.
That's crazy.
You know, now it's a little bit higher, but not much.
Sure.
Women don't think of that as a job.
Thank you for coming in. We do appreciate it. And thank you for your service.
Oh, definitely.